Hi there, and welcome to Ellon Academy's virtual assembly for Friday, the 26th of March. So this week we've had S2 pupils in school this week, and it was really good to see them, a lively bunch as they are. And they were working with their various boost sessions with their teachers and different members of staff, including Brenda and Debbie from the CLD team, which was really good to see them working alongside our new counsellor and our new pupil support worker as well. So that was really good to see those additional staff in school giving a different perspective and a different sort of input to our young people. Next week, we are expecting our third year pupils in school for their boost sessions and sessions on mental health and well-being as well. And during that time, our S1 and 2 pupils next week will continue to work on Google Classroom. Our vulnerable pupils, key worker pupils, and those pupils who access our additional support hub have also continued to come into school every day since January, and our staff here have been working hard to ensure that provision has been ongoing during this very difficult time. And obviously it's needless to say that we are really looking forward to welcoming all pupils back to school after Easter. That obviously is dependent on the Deputy First Minister giving us the final green light to say that is doable. And the thing that we're really interested to know is that can we return to school after Easter without 2-metre distancing, because that will have an impact on everything that we're planning if we cannot. So we're really hopeful that we will return to almost normal after the Easter break. So the senior phase assessment block, this is something that has been awaited for, with great interest for our senior phase pupils. Let me give you a little background to the process that we've gone through as a school. We've considered a number of different models for a senior assessment block, and one model is where we don't set any assessments and we hope that naturally generating evidence will come to light. But we can't do that because that evidence would not meet the moderation and verification standards, and it wouldn't be predictive of future predictive grades. So another model that we looked at was having, for example, all of National 5 Modern Studies sitting an assessment all at the same time, albeit spaced around the school, or all of the higher English pupils sitting an assessment at the same time. That wouldn't work either, because that would cause massive disruption. We would have to displace classes from their usual classrooms across the school, potentially into bigger areas to be taught. It would mean disruption to our S1, 2 and 3 programme. It would also mean disruption to the learning and teaching in the senior phase, having all of the pupils out of normal timetable classes all at the same time. So that model was put to one side as well. We also had a model of 4 weeks of learning and teaching after the Easter break, with a 2-week highly intensive assessment block. But that would mean 5 weeks of assessments would have to be squashed into 2 weeks, and that really is not good for the health and well-being of our young people. They would have double, if not treble, of assessments back to back, fitted in to 2 weeks, rather than the model that we've gone for is spreading them across 5 weeks. So a further model that we looked at was having 1 week of learning and teaching and 5 weeks of study leave with the assessments brought in. But we rejected that one as well, because we will not get the benefit of maximising learning and teaching time with young people in classrooms with the expertise and the professional knowledge, judgment and understanding of their teachers. So we rejected that model as well. So the model that we've gone for is obviously, albeit returning to school full-time after Easter with John Swinney's say-so, without 2-metre social distancing. So week 1 would be full-time intensive teaching for that first week, with everybody back in school following their normal timetable. Weeks 2 to 6 of Term 4 would be the assessment block, and there is no school in Aberdeenshire, and I've just come from an Aberdeenshire head teachers meeting this morning, and no Aberdeenshire school is giving study leave. There is no study leave across Aberdeenshire, and the reason for that is that our young people have been out of school for at least 3 months and prior to that last year, so that we want to maximise in-school teaching opportunities for staff to work with pupils on revision, feedback and intensive preparation for these assessments. So the assessment block calendar will be produced later on today. Paper assessments, a study planner and an assessment planner in paper form has been issued to our fourth year pupils today in person, and that will be issued to S5 and 6 next week when they're in school. So they'll have this assessment study planner to plot in their assessments and when they're happening on which dates, and the class teachers will work with them to plot in and make that calendar and study planner for them. There'll be an opportunity for them to download the electronic version of that assessment and study planner when it's posted up on the school website later today. There'll be lots of discussions and reminders from teachers in class, in person, when their assessments are going to be, and young people can use their phone, notes app or calendar apps, etc. to record when the assessments will be. Also, the assessments will be put up, the timings of them and the time and place and date on the Google Classroom to-do list, so there's another way young people can be absolutely sure as to when their assessments are. And also this means that Google Guardian for parents will also be updated with that information as well. So this is a screenshot of the assessment block study planner that the pupils, fourth year pupils received today, and S5 and 6 pupils will receive on Monday when they're in school. And they were given this so that they can take it to their different teachers over the next week when they're in school, and the teachers will tell them exactly when their specific assessments will be after the Easter break, after the first week of term. So as you can see there, it's got the dates down the left hand side, right from this coming Monday if they want to start their study and revision even then, and it also, the grey shaded areas demonstrate and show the Easter break, and if I were able to scroll down, this is a screenshot, it would also show you the Monday holiday in May, for example. But young people can plot in where their assessments are, they can use it to plan out their study, and you can see I've broken it up into sections so they can have morning sections of study and build-in breaks, afternoon sessions and evening sessions, and also it's a good tool also to plot in where their downtime is going to be, which is really important if they've got leisure time or if they've got exercise, or maybe some of them have still got some part-time work going on, so they can plot in those times as well and use it as a tool to balance out when they're doing revision, when their assessments are, and how to help organise themselves. They'll also be able to download an electronic version of this because it's going to be put up onto the website along with the other assessment information, the full timetable of assessments and the letter to parents, which is coming out later on today. So in terms of that is part of the suite of support that we are offering to our young people with that electronic or paper version that I've just spoken about to you. But also as part of the assessment block, the beauty of it is that that ongoing expert teaching will go on throughout the assessment block, and pupils will be able to get support and help and guidance and feedback and advice during their lessons, and also on Google Classroom as well. We're producing an Ellon Academy Senior Phase How to Study guide. That's almost finished, and as I had said in previous newsletters, that will be ready for pupils next week. It's quite a hefty document, there's a lot in it, so we won't be issuing paper copies to be eco-friendly. We'll be posting it on the school website and sending a link to pupils and parents in terms of how to access, and there's some really good stuff in it round about how to actually study, because we're very aware that some of our learners, particularly our fourth years, haven't had this experience of studying in the past. So there's lots of good advice and tips, and also subject specific advice as well. During the Easter break, normally what we would do is shut down access to Google Classroom, because obviously it wouldn't be supervised by staff during a holiday period. But we're going to leave the senior phase Google Classrooms open over the Easter break so that young people can access the work that's already there. And obviously I have asked all of the staff to populate their Google Classrooms with specific subject and course materials that will help support them prepare for the assessments, so they know exactly what they're doing. So the SQA booklet, what you need to know for 2021, if it hasn't arrived through your home letterbox, it should be arriving to you very soon and prior to the Easter break. And that has some really good information for young people. When you see my newsletter about the assessment block, there is a link to the document there, and there's also a link to some other SQA information that you might be interested in looking at. So what remains to say is, and this is genuinely meant, we want our senior phase pupils in particular to keep calm, because we are here to help. And however challenging the prospect of term 4 might be for our pupils and for parents in trying to support pupils, it's going to be challenging for our staff too. The timescales that we have from the SQA are so tight, and we firmly believe that the model of assessment window that we've put in place is in the very best interests of all our learners, and we will be here day in, day out to help support. So we really need young people to come forward and ask if they need help, ask if they need clarification. Don't leave any stone unturned, because the staff here really care, and we really want our young people to do well despite the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So usual message, folks: stay safe, be aware of your surroundings when you're out and about, and we just want you to have the best opportunity that we can possibly give under the restrictions that we find ourselves in just now. Thank you.